Have you ever wondered why most people don't live long after 80? We celebrate turning 80 as a major milestone, something only a small fraction of the world's population ever reaches. But surviving beyond 80, staying healthy, independent, and at peace. That's not just about luck, it's about being aware of a handful of silent, brutal forces, realities that sneak up on almost everyone, often going unnoticed until the consequences can no longer be ignored. Today, I'm going to share the 6 hidden reasons why life after 80 is so much harder than most people expect. Not the obvious stuff like eating your vegetables, avoiding cigarettes, or taking your pills. I'm talking about the quiet killers, the processes that unfold in the background, draining your strength, spirit, and social life until you realize, sometimes too late, that you're fighting a battle you never saw coming. But here's the good news. The sooner you recognize these truths, the more power you have to change your own story. If you, or someone you love, is heading into your 80s, this is for you. Because it's not just about living longer. It's about living better, on your own terms. Stay with me until the end, because the last reason might be the very thing that's stealing your energy and joy, without you ever realizing it. Brutal reality number 1. Inflammation, the silent arsonist inside your body. Let's start with a reality that's as invisible as it is deadly. Chronic inflammation. Doctors call it inflammaging, the low-level, persistent fire that burns away at your cells, your joints, your memory, and even your heart. Unlike the swelling you see after an injury, this inflammation operates deep inside, damaging tissues quietly, year after year. Here's what's truly shocking. You might feel fine, even pass every doctor's test, but inflammation can still be at work, caused by decades of stress, too many processed foods, not enough movement, or just the normal aging of your immune system. Most people don't feel the effects until it's too late, when memory slips, joints ache, and energy seems to vanish without explanation. Take George, for example. At 82, he still walked every day. He avoided junk food, never smoked. But he started to notice a constant stiffness and brain fog. After years of normal checkups, a specialist finally found his inflammatory markers were sky high. No big disease, just a lifetime of small fires his body couldn't put out anymore. What's the takeaway? Don't wait until you feel something is wrong. Adopt anti-inflammatory habits now. Eat more whole foods, keep moving, manage stress, and prioritize sleep. Small daily choices like a walk after lunch or a handful of berries over a bag of chips help keep the flame low, buying you years of strength and clarity. Brutal reality number 2. Muscle loss. The quiet thief of strength and independence. Most people believe that frailty just comes with age. But what really happens is that your muscles, the very tissue that holds you up, keeps you steady, and allows you to live independently, begin to melt away. This process, called sarcopenia, accelerates after 80, turning even minor weakness into a major risk. It's not just about struggling to lift heavy things. It's the slow realization that simple tasks, getting up from a chair, carrying groceries, balancing on the stairs, become harder. And when muscle disappears, it's not just strength you lose. Balance, metabolism, even your ability to fight infection start to crumble. Suddenly, a minor stumble can lead to a major fall, and a fall can be the end of living on your own. Frank, 84, never thought of himself as weak. But after one small trip on his kitchen rug, he broke his hip. Weeks in bed led to more muscle loss. That loss led to a walker, then to a sense of defeat that was harder to recover from than the fall itself. Muscle is your best protection after 80. Don't wait for weakness to show up. Even a little strength training with light weights, resistance bands, or even just standing up and sitting down from a chair 10 times a day can slow or reverse muscle loss. You're not training to run marathons. You're training to live your life on your terms for as long as you possibly can. Brutal reality number 3. Sleep disruption. When the nights get longer, life gets shorter. Here's a brutal truth that hardly anyone prepares you for. Sleep isn't guaranteed in old age. In fact, sleep quality usually gets worse. After 80, many people struggle with falling asleep, waking often, and never quite feeling refreshed in the morning. Some just accept it as part of getting old. But the truth is, poor sleep accelerates every other aging process. Why does this matter so much? Because sleep is when the body repairs itself, when the brain clears out waste, when the immune system rebuilds. Without enough deep, restorative sleep, your memory gets foggier, your mood dips, your balance wobbles, and your body becomes more vulnerable to disease. Alice, 86, thought it was normal to wake up 4 or 5 times a night. But over time, she noticed her memories slipping, her energy disappearing, and her body growing more fragile. Only when her doctor helped her rebuild her sleep habits, consistent bedtime, less caffeine, and more morning light, did her mind and body start to recover. Don't ignore sleep problems. They are not just part of aging. Treat your sleep like medicine. Make your bedroom cool and dark. Stick to a regular routine and get outside in the morning sun. Every extra hour of good sleep is an extra day of strength. Brutal reality number 4. Loneliness and loss of purpose. The quiet heartbreak of aging. But perhaps the most devastating silent force after 80 is loneliness. Not just being alone, but feeling unneeded, unseen, unimportant. Most people don't realize how dangerous this is. Loneliness can shorten life more than many chronic diseases. Bill, 88, lost his wife 5 years ago. His children live far away. His days blur together. Meals alone, TV for company, not a single real conversation in days. He's healthy, but every year his world shrinks a little more. What he misses most isn't activity. It's having a reason to get up, someone to need him, a way to feel useful. Purpose isn't just about having big goals. It can be as small as watering the plants, calling a friend, helping a neighbor, or writing a note to a grandchild. Find one reason to matter every day, because your heart needs purpose as much as your body needs food. Brutal reality number 5. Declining adaptability. When change becomes the enemy. Another quiet, devastating force that catches many after 80 is the loss of adaptability. The ability to adjust when life throws you curveballs. In our younger years, changes were constant. Jobs, families, new homes, new technologies. But after 80, the pace of change in the world doesn't slow down, even as your own energy does. What does this really look like? Suddenly, your favorite bank branch closes and is replaced by an app. Your doctor's office moves across town. Friends pass away. The neighbors you relied on move out. And the world feels less and less familiar. Many elders find themselves resisting all change, holding tightly to old routines, even when those routines no longer work. But here's the brutal truth. Refusing to adapt doesn't protect you. It slowly traps you. I remember Mabel, 85, who refused to use her new phone after her old landline was disconnected. She felt angry, isolated, and helpless, cut off from family who wanted to stay in touch. It wasn't the technology that beat her. It was the fear of changing. Adaptability is like a muscle. If you don't use it, it shrinks. The seniors who do best after 80 are the ones who keep experimenting, asking for help, and staying curious. They learn to try new things, even if it feels awkward at first, whether it's ordering groceries online, joining a new club, or just being willing to say, I don't know, but I'll try. Every small step you take toward change keeps your mind sharper, your spirit younger, and your world bigger. So, ask yourself, what's one change you've been resisting? What's one new thing you could try this week, even if it scares you a little? Growth doesn't stop at 80. It just becomes a little more intentional. Brutal reality 6. Sensory decline, the unseen thief of joy and connection. Finally, let's talk about something that nearly everyone faces, but hardly anyone discusses openly. The slow erosion of your senses. Vision gets dimmer. Hearing grows fuzzy. Taste and smell dull. Touch may lose its sensitivity, and often, these changes happen so gradually you barely notice, until suddenly the world feels faded, muted, and less inviting. Why is this so brutal? Because your senses are your gateway to joy, memory, and connection. Imagine this. Helen, 83, stopped going to her book club because she couldn't hear the conversation and felt embarrassed asking people to repeat themselves. Jack, 86, once loved to cook, but as his taste faded, food lost its pleasure, and he lost weight he couldn't afford. Or consider the loneliness that creeps in when you can't see well enough to drive or read, or hear well enough to chat on the phone. These aren't just annoyances. Sensory decline quietly shrinks your world, making you less likely to go out, less able to connect, less willing to try new things. But here's the key. You don't have to accept all of it as just aging. Get your eyes and ears checked regularly. Don't be ashamed to use glasses, hearing aids, magnifiers, subtitles, whatever helps you stay connected. Use music, textured fabrics, fragrant flowers, and flavorful foods to keep your senses alive. If you notice a loved one withdrawing, ask, is it loneliness? Or are they struggling to see, hear, or taste the world the way they used to? Reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness. It's a declaration that you still want to live, not just exist. Turning brutal truth into personal power. So now you know the 6 brutal silent forces that shape life after 80. Chronic inflammation, muscle loss, disrupted sleep, loneliness, shrinking adaptability, and sensory decline. Each one works quietly, bit by bit, often so gradually that people don't realize what's happening until their world has already grown smaller and dimmer. But here's where the story changes. When you see these forces for what they are, when you're willing to name them, face them, and talk about them, you take back your power. Because awareness is the first step to action, and action, no matter how small, can change everything. Imagine this. Instead of surrendering to inflammation, you swap just one processed snack a day for fruit or nuts, or take a short walk after dinner. Instead of letting your muscles melt, you do a few squats holding onto the sink, or lift light weights twice a week. Instead of accepting sleepless nights, you experiment with calming bedtime routines and let the sun hit your face each morning. Instead of waiting for a call, you pick up the phone or knock on a neighbor's door, even if just to say hello. Instead of refusing change, you ask for help with new technology, or try a new class, or learn something you've never tried before. Instead of isolating yourself because your hearing isn't perfect, you get the devices you need, or ask friends to speak a little louder, or sit closer in group settings. Every single small effort is a statement. I am still here. My story is not finished. I have the right and the power to shape the way I age. Conclusion. From brutal truth to bold living. Now, let's get brutally honest. No one gets to skip these realities. Not you, not me, not anyone. But that doesn't mean you're powerless. In fact, naming what is hard gives you a fighting chance to change what happens next. Aging after 80 isn't just about survival. It's about ownership. It's about facing what's tough, feeling what's real, and still choosing action over surrender, joy over resignation, and connection over quiet fading. Remember, inflammation and muscle loss don't have to win if you keep moving, eating well, and staying curious. Leap struggles aren't the end. Every improvement helps your mind, body, and mood recover. Loneliness and shrinking purpose can be answered with one genuine act of reaching out or finding new meaning, even in small daily rituals. Adaptability and sensory loss are not walls, but signals. It's time to try new things, to ask for help, to demand what you need, and to let the world know you're not done yet. You made it past 80. You've already proven your resilience. You have the wisdom of experience and the right to fight for every good day still ahead. If you've recognized yourself in any of these stories, don't turn away. Lean in. Choose one area to focus on this week. A walk with a friend, a better bedtime routine, a new hobby, an honest conversation with your doctor, or just letting someone know you're still here and you still care. You don't have to do it all at once. Small steps taken with intention create the kind of life that stays big, even as the years go on. So what stood out to you most today? Which brutal truth felt uncomfortably familiar? And, more importantly, which one are you willing to face with fresh courage? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Tell us your story, your struggle, or your plan for action. Your voice matters. To us, to your family, to your community, and most of all, to you. If you found value in this video, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support is what keeps us going, creating real, honest content for those who need it most. You may be in your 80s, but you're not at the end of your story. You are the author of every day that's still to come. Thank you for being here. Thank you for fighting for yourself and for those you love. We look forward to seeing you in the next video, still strong, still curious, still alive.